Dad beat my mom through her pregnancies. When I was 11, my mom finally got courage to file for divorce. When I was 13, I actually was like 25. I grew up overnight. I was in 7th grade when we got the phone call in the morning that my brother had shot my dad and that he died and my brother's in jail. My brother was innocent. It was self-defense. He just had enough of what my dad did to the family. The jury acquitted him of all charges. My brother had been out of jail for a while. Society was very hard on him. He had a lot of pressures of what he did and the guilt of what he did. He actually took his life 2 days before his 31st birthday. My mom was probably the craziest person I ever met. She was very small, but she thought she was 10 foot tall and bulletproof. She worked all the time. I remember when I was little, she worked 3 jobs. She met the man of her dreams. They decided to get married. They went on a honeymoon. They were gone 15 days, and when they got back, she was complaining she didn't feel good. I took her in because she wouldn't go to the doctor, and that's when they found out she had cancer. I wanted my mom to be there to see my first baby be born. We hurried on everything. We got married when we were pregnant. My mom was my matron of honor, which meant the world to me. And Brody was 6 months old when she passed away. I lost my best friend. You couldn't ask for a better person for a mom. That's why it was so hard when she did pass away, because then I was out by myself, completely alone. I was married, but just by myself. Jay and I, in the beginning of our marriage, at first it was nice. We had been dating for quite a while and thought we knew everything about each other, but then being married and having a kid, you have to make changes, and neither one of us wanted to make changes. Jay was still hanging out with his friends and, went to do his thing, and it was really hard on me. I didn't feel like he needed me or wanted to be with me. It hit me that I wanted to be a kid, but I had kids, I couldn't be a kid. We separated. But before we split, we had decided to do the surrogacy thing. I had to tell my couple that I was filing for a divorce, and the guys were really upset. I convinced them, and I convinced myself that I was gonna be just fine. I didn't need Jay, and I was just gonna do everything myself. We went through the process, and they called, and they got my plane ticket ready for Portland, and then I panicked. The only person that knows me is Jay. The only person I want with me if I'm hurt or scared is Jay. We had already filed for divorce. We were living in separate houses. So I called him and I said, I want you to go with me. Let's do this together. It doesn't mean we're getting back together. Let's just, finish what we started. As soon as we stepped off the plane, we had no family, no kids, nobody telling us what to do, and it started all over.
The trip to Portland, we were having problems before we left there, and actually the surrogacy thing kind of brought us back together.
We got to just be us, and it was awesome. We came back and we told everybody. I called the lawyer. I said, guess what? We worked it out. We're gonna do this. And ever since then, we've both grown up a lot. Surrogacy saved my marriage. It's sad what it took to get us there, but I don't think if I would have needed him to go on that Portland trip with me, I honestly don't know if we would have got back together.
That was the greatest trip ever.
Really, all of reproductive medicine needs to be approached in a very responsible way, and the pregnancies that we create need to be created in a way that's safe, not just for the woman, but also for the babies.
There were countless medical tests, not just for me, but for my husband as well.
We give ourselves injections of estrogen, progesterone, Lupron.
They're taken in the stomach with a little needle once a day for about 4 to 5 weeks.
A lot of shots, a lot of pills, a lot of patches, a lot of lab work.
Blood tests, screenings. I had to do a psych eval.
Throwing up 8 to 10 times a day is not fun.
Exterior changes like the stretch marks in your breast change and your hips widen.
I get varicose veins really bad.
High blood pressure and eclampsia and diabetes of pregnancy.
Medications are involved, injections are involved, serious commitment is involved.
There's a 1 in 25,000 risk of dying from being pregnant.
Then that scared me because, you don't hear of a lot of people dying during deliveries.
I don't want to have another C-section. I've given birth to 7 babies. I just turned 30.
The most challenging part of running the agency and being there on a daily basis is seeing it not work. Seeing them go through transfer and get their hopes up, and the doctor saying, it didn't work this time.
Probably half the initial inquiries say, you know what, I had no idea it was that complicated, and thank you, but no thank you.
Carrying twins is different from carrying a singleton. The morning sickness was 20 times as bad, and it lasted longer, and I'm just exhausted all the time.
The first thing I want to do after I deliver the babies is have an ice cold beer, kick my feet back, and relax.
Monday, when I was driving home from work, I called Gina and we were just talking, and she's like, just so you know, I'm nesting today and I got a burst of energy, so 9 times out of 10, that means it's gonna be soon.
What's going on?
I called my doctor and asked her how much pain I should be in because I've been having contractions for a long time. So she had me come in, and I just had this feeling that I wasn't gonna leave.
9 o'clock, she called and was like, get in the car. I'm 3 to 4 centimeters dilated and 70% effaced.
They said it was gonna happen for sure. So I was kind of glad that they were on their way, and they got me my epidural, which I love.
5 centimeters, going for the epidural. So we just started making phone calls and said, get ready. Baby Dare Squared is coming. Hopefully not until we get there, because Gina says that she delivers fast.
When Stephanie and Jason arrived, it was about 4 o'clock in the morning. So we sat and we talked for a while, and finally at 7 o'clock is when things started to get more exciting. All right, well, we're just going in. I'm gonna go push them out right now.
It was quick. They took Gina in, we started getting her prepared, and they said, okay, it's time. So Stephanie, myself, and James all were called in.
Here we are about to go in the operating room.
We walked in, and it was within, 2 minutes.
She pushed once, and it was a boy.
At 7:10, Carson was born. It was one push, because I'm that good.
Vivian was scary.
She turned around, breech, and it was like she was swimming for the top of my uterus. She was trying to get out. She was punching and kicking.
All you see is her pulling her out, and all you see is her hiney and legs. And so, it was nerve-wracking, and she's pulling and yanking, and
it got a little scary at that point. She wasn't moving when she came out. They kind of whisked her away and took her into the other room with the NICU staff to take care of her.
They shut the door where Carson and Vivian were, so that was scary.
I didn't know. I didn't know if she would make it or not. I can't imagine what Jason and Stephanie were feeling at the time.
After a while, they shut the door, and that feeling is like, oh no, something's wrong if they have to shut the door. But then it was only a couple minutes, and they brought us back there, and we were able to take pictures and see them, and they explained very well what they were doing for each of them. The twins are doing well. They both have breathing oxygen, but it's the minimum of what they could be getting. So, I mean, we're very positive of, their progress in just 24 hours. know if there's words to tell Gina.
It's the best gift you could give anybody.
What she did for us and the friendship that we've gotten from her and her family is just amazing. I don't think anyone could put into words what to tell her, you know. I mean, I think she knows what an amazing gift she gave us.
With my second surrogate pregnancy, I went into labor about 3 in the afternoon.
Bonnie said she was feeling some cramps, wanted to use the restroom, and she goes, I think it's time.
My poor husband.
She was saying she was going through some contractions, and she's been really fast about deliveries.
He was panicking, and I was trying to calm him down, but it just wasn't working.
We need to get you in the car. We need to get you downstairs.
He drove to the hospital.
I think I only ran one light.
I was in the front seat. I had the seat reclined as far back as it could go.
She had this tilted as far back as she could.
And I was holding on for dear life on that handle right there above the door.
She pretty much just went from here to here to here to here and back.
And I had my feet up on the dashboard.
It's nice she had them right here in these grooves. And it was something like this with the other hand over here.
He was trying to hold my hand. His hand was trying to like just rub my leg, trying to comfort me.
She was lifting and pulling and tugging.
And I just remember screaming and yelling.
We're not gonna make it. We need to hurry up and get there.
And I was doing everything I possibly could to hold that baby inside of me until we got to the hospital.
I think I need to cross my legs so the baby doesn't come.
And I lost that battle. Because the minute we drove into the parking lot of the hospital, I gave up trying.
She did get a little upset when I went over the speed bumps. She went from hurry to slow down.
He ran over to my side of the car to help me out, and I just told him, no, go get somebody from inside.
And so I looked behind the desk and I said, my wife's having a baby. And they looked at me and they're like, yeah, it looks like one of those first-time father characters.
And I'm in the car yelling that the baby's coming.
And at this point, like I said, the doors are opening and closing, so we hear this, ah, ah.
Next thing I know, he's standing at the car door.
She says, here comes the head.
And I see this lady jump into the car, and she caught the baby as he slid down the seat.
Looked like something out of a sports channel. She comes in, drops her knee, and catches the baby.
So yeah, didn't make it quite. I made it to the hospital, just not inside of the hospital.
The birth certificate actually has the baby's name, time, and then instead of saying what hospital it's in, it says the hospital parking lot. Surprised they didn't actually take the VIN number of the car to put on the birth certificate.
So we are 34 weeks and 2 days. And Alicia is very much ready to deliver these babies. She's in a lot of discomfort and pain. We are going to visit her this weekend, so basically knowing that this might be the weekend that she does go into labor, but at the same time, she may not. So we'll see.
Poor Mike and Sarah had just visited, and they had left to go home the night before because nothing had happened. I hadn't gone into labor, and they had to turn around and drive back.
We're half a mile from our house, and I saw the phone ring.
I called and said, I'm 3 centimeters dilated. I'm at labor and delivery. You need to come back.
I go, oh my God, it's here. All of a sudden, these nurses came running in, and she started screaming.
You can lean them on me. Yeah, lean them on me if you want. They still come out. Just lean them a little. Yeah, lean it on me if you want.
She's like, got the video camera, and I go, oh my God, I'm not videotaping it, you know? I said, I don't feel right doing this. I handed it to her husband. I said, you're gonna have to do it, because I'm not doing it.
Nice and controlled. There you go. Nice and slow and steady.
I ran out in the hall and I said, they're coming.
Yeah.
This is it. There you go. Big push.
And then all of a sudden, Noah breached out, and I was like, oh my God, I'm like, wow. They had me put on some gloves, and then I cut the umbilical cord.
Right here. Right there.